Well, welcome back, everyone. There's always something to talk about for Putnam County, and here to do that is Brad Brubaker. He's the Putnam County Commissioner. Welcome, Brad.
Thank you, Chris. How are you?
I'm fantastic. It's good to have you here at the show. So tell us what's going on in Putnam County.
I'm going to talk about our auditor's office today. Our auditor is Robert Benrow, and he's been our auditor for several years. And their office facilitates real estate parcels and our county budget. With our real estate, they take care of watching on transfers and property taxes, and then they maintain our county budget. All of our offices have a budget that they have to maintain, and the bills are paid through their office. And that way we have checks and balances through the auditor's office. And recently they did a change with their software system, and it was a pretty big overhaul for them. It was a system that they've used since the late 1970s. So with keeping track of real estate and also our budget, and we all know how software changes all the time. Bob is very conservative and held on to that system as long as he could, but change was inevitable. So all the offices, when they're ready to pay their bills, they go through the county auditor's office. In the past, for budgets, for them to see their line items and where their budgets are, at the end of the month, the auditor's office would send out paper copies. Well, now with this new system, it's more analytical for them. They can see live updates to what their budget looks like and where their numbers are at, and they can pay their bills online with the auditor's office. So it was a pretty big change. A lot of people don't like, especially those that have been around for a while, they don't like to make those changes. But once they get into the system and get familiar with it, it's going to be very helpful for them, and also with their budgets on tracking things.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of people don't like change, but change, like you said, is inevitable. You got to embrace it. You know, things are always updating. And so, you know, I can imagine working with a program from all the way back to the 1970s up until now, like that. I mean, that's been going on for a long time, but, you know, things do change, but usually for the benefit of, you know, the people and the people working on, you know, the program. So that's a good thing usually.
Yeah, when they get through these growing pains and they see, you know, like I said, and sometimes they, you know, through phone calls, you got to make sure you're tracking your budget and numbers, especially towards the end of the year. It really gets to be more in depth and tracking where your budget numbers are. And so, you know, you're calling the auditor's office more, where now they'll just the departments are able to log into their own system, their own budget system, and can keep track of those numbers. And if they need to do some transfers, it'll be a lot more smoother transition for them, and time consuming that it was before. It changes that. So in the long run, it's really going to be beneficial to all offices.
Yeah, I like the fact that you said there was going to be live updates, you know, so they can easily go into the system and just see where things are going.
Yeah, because sometimes, like I said, at the end of the year, they got to rely on transfers from one account to another, and they're working through our office. And it was a big change for us. We used to sign many of the purchase orders, which you have to do a purchase order ahead of when you're buying something. That way you know that money is there. So now, before they could write that purchase order out, and maybe that budget quite wasn't there, and then they would have to wait to get on our agenda to transfer the funds, where now that system won't even allow you to put that purchase order in unless the funds are there. So much better on tracking your budgets, and for the auditor's office, again, for those checks and balances to make sure everyone's within their guidelines.
Yep, budgeting is definitely important, and, you know, like you said, the checks and balances, so that's a good update, and keeping up with the updates, so that's fantastic. Well, Brad, thanks so much for coming on today and giving us the lowdown of Putnam County.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You
Take care.
too. All right, well, don't go away because we have more when we return.